He's doing Decays.
All right. It's always a pleasure to be here, in particular to come for this special event for the 20th anniversary for NCTS. My frequent visits were not dated back that far, 20 years. However, my collaboration and friendship with many of your members and many of them sitting here in the room dated way back more than 20 years ago. I don't want to give you, I'm kind of reluctant to tell you when, but I hope this the friendship and collaboration will continue and will come back more frequent if I can. And congratulations again for this great 20 years, and hope to have many more exciting years for NCTS to come. So, very similar to Andy, that I want to discuss some about Higgs physics, and that's not controversial at all. It's very much a standard model-like. However, unlike Andy, I will not say anything that far to violate the principles that we have been working on established. However, given the point that the Higgs has been discovered, very much like the motivation that all that way. So this is based on my recent work with one of my students, Wang Xin, who is a graduate student in Pittsburgh. So very much like the motivation that Andy mentioned, the completion of the standard model, because of the Higgs discovery, first time ever established the standard model as effective field theory, valid to arbitrary high energy scale. And may even be possible to be valid all the way up to Planck scale, with a consistent description for the quantum mechanical and unitary and renormalizable and possibly vacuum stable, all the way up to a very high scale. However, this doesn't mean that, on the one hand, we're extremely happy to have such an establishment. I think it's a tremendous success for the theoretical and experimental effort to have achieved such level. On the other hand, I think it's equally true to say that many of us, and maybe most of us, would not believe that standard model is going to be a final theory all the way up to Planck scale. There are many pressing questions to discuss, such as the nature of the electroweak symmetry breaking that we have heard many really brilliant ideas and talks even in this symposium. What is the nature of the electroweak phase transition? And what is the true full interaction potential in Higgs, or is it simply just a simple 5-4 theory with these two terms? In vacuum stability and other interaction terms, such as very large Yukawa coupling for the top quark, and so on and so forth, it's a very pressing question to understand, to establish further as well. And naturalness, whether the Higgs mass in the electroweak scale is stabilized at a rather low scale in comparison with the next known energy scale, such as Planck scale. What is the new physics possible to be responsible for this the rather light Higgs mass in the electroweak scale? And many other possibles from the observational aspects, such as the nature of the particle dark matter and the flavor physics with dramatically different Yukawa couplings for the fermion masses, and the nature of neutrino mass, and so on and so forth. So there are so many pressing questions which may have a lot to do with the single mass scale we have, the vacuum expectation value in the Higgs spectrum. So therefore, we really should push forward to see what we can learn in connection with the Higgs physics. That's what I usually call this the Higgs lamppost. Whenever you find something around, you find a light, you want to explore as much as you can. So there are two general approaches. One is that we start to the energy threshold. We push forward to the energy threshold, such as higher energy machines with LFC and maybe even beyond, so that we may have a better chance to see some possible new states above the Higgs scale. That's of course the energy threshold has been an extremely fruitful approach for us to learn energy physics. On the other hand, we may be able to dig out some potential interesting physics from the precision measurements, which also historically happened many times in the electric sector and even in the low energy sector as well. So this is the propaganda plot that our LHC experimental colleagues usually show us that from the current measurements, the WZ couplings as well as the Tau lepton couplings have been directly measured more than 5 sigma level. In fact, many sigma level. Tau probably is close to 5 sigma. And B quark is gauging there around 3 sigma-ish in that region. But top quark is indirect from the loop contribution from the loop fusion through the top quark loop to the Higgs, which turned out to be the leading Higgs production magnet. The muon coupling is still very loose bound. But you can see the tendency. The tendency seems to be in full consistent agreement with the Standard Model prediction that the coupling strength from the Higgs particle is indeed proportional to the fermion masses. It seems to be working. However, there's still room to understand the situation better. Let's have a general argument in terms of precision. Suppose there is a new physics sector around a TeV scale, which may be responsible for the Higgs mass and electroweak scale stabilization, so-called naturalness. Now let's see the possible deviation if we do the precision Higgs physics. The deviation may be measured by the deviation for the measured coupling constant, normalized by the Standard Model prediction, and normalized by 1, and this is the deviation. So if the new physics scale M comes in relatively at the tree level, then the staging would be the vacuum expectation value over the new physics scale. Suppose the scale is around 1 TeV, then the correction would be quarter TeV over 1 TeV squared. It's about 1/16. It's a few percent. So that's naive expectation. If we are able to reach the precision for the Higgs physics up to a few percent, we are marching into the TeV region that are maybe coupled to the Higgs sector beyond Standard Model. So that's the target. Let's think about some possible contributions to this delta. This delta is a deviation from the Standard Model coupling. Let's think about the leading contributions, such as the vector bosons, WZ coupling to the Higgs, and the observable channels like the third generation, BB bar Higgs, Tau Higgs, and possible significant contribution in the loop through loops to Higgs, and gamma through loops to Higgs, and a possible triple coupling. So for different scenarios, that would contribute to those couplings differently. Consider some possible strong dynamics, such as the composite Higgs scenario. Then the gate boson coupling may be changed significantly at a percentage level, typically. But the fermionic sector may be suppressed by the new physics scale, like the prime, the K constant in that order. And the Higgs self-interaction in the Higgs sector may even be modified by order of 1, which is significantly important, in particular, given the need to understand the electric phase transition and so on and so forth. But if you have a weakly coupled theory, such as supersymmetry and such as additional Higgs doublets and so on and so forth, the modification would be rather different. In the gate boson sector, it's purely weakly coupled gate sector, and this fraction is very, very small, percentage or less. But on the other hand, the fermionic sector may be significantly different, depending on what these tangent beta and the vacuum expectation values from 1, from 2, and so on and so forth. So you can see that there's a general pattern that different couplings may indicate some possible different underlying dynamics. And further, if you have additional partners, such as the vector like T prime in the little Higgs or so on and so forth, that is designed to help you to cure this fine-tuned problem, the naturalness problem, and then it usually gives you an active contribution to, in particular, the loop calculations. So all in all, then certain contributions seem to come even from the tree level, and certain contributions will come from the loop level. Typically, the LSC, from the LSC experimental aspects, the accuracy for the 14 TeV sunbox energy 3 was an upper bound plus the luminosity would be able to probe something like percentage, 8% or so, worse than 5% with gate boson coupling. And for certain channels, maybe slightly better, such as the Z to 4 leptons. But for the fermionic sector, it's a real challenge. So it's hard to beat 10%. And for the loop level, it may be a few percent, but for the self interaction, maybe at best to be more than 50%. So that's basically the order of magnitude you can expect almost by the end of the LHC run, roughly speaking. So therefore, you can see the need to have a more precise measurements for the Higgs properties, maybe in the future for such as for the Higgs factor, the plus minus machine, or maybe the future hadron collider to pin down this Higgs couple. Okay, so much for the general argument. So what I want to discuss today is about the continuation for the Higgs measurements beyond these few simple channels. It's likely that maybe these the other additional smaller channels, I call it the rare decays. What is rare? Usually we say if that's not well done, it's not well done, it's very rare. Okay. So those rare decays do not mean exotic decays beyond standard model. I really mean the standard model channel. Think about the Higgs decay in the smaller branching fractions. If you look at this the standard plot, this is a plot for the Higgs decay branching fractions to many leading channels. We know that this is the dominant channel to BB bar, which is difficult to measure because of the hadronic experimental environment. So diagram is huge. And the second one, WW, is observed to good accuracy. And the third one here is blue, which is also hard to observe directly because of hadronic frequency. Tau, as I mentioned, has been reached almost like 5 sigma-ish relatively recently. And then if you move down, the next one is the first second generation from him, the CC bar, which was once again is extremely difficult. Then if you go down and you see the loop-induced gamma-gamma, loop-induced gamma-Z, and then finally, this is the interesting one. This may well be the first channel to be observed for the second generation from him, mu plus, mu minus. For the moment, it's so significant. It's kind of a very weak bound, something like 10 times, order of 10 times, 5 to 6 times bigger than standard model bound. But eventually, by the end of the LHC run, hopefully we'll be able to reach something at this level, to have a few sigma level for this observation. But nevertheless, it's important to think about this. However, I want to remind you the largest correction beyond this simple tree-level calculation, tree-level predictions, is from the QC correction to the fermionic channels. We know this running mass effect is the largest contribution because running mass effect basically resound the QC correction into this the cover copy due to this. So here the running mass, if we think about the B-port mass here, put this standard formula here. The correction, of course, this includes the QC correction already. The QC correction to the running mass, running coupling can be as big as almost a factor 2 from the threshold from the GeVH, the QC, particularly QCE, and to 100 GeVH. That's what we observe. So it could be almost as big as a factor 2. This is a kind of indicative that we should consider. If we want to consider the rare decays, we want to understand everything to a good precision and then include the other channels. That's what we want to discover. Given the large data sample from the LFT, and given the anticipation like 300 inverse femtobarn or 3 inverse alphabarn, I mentioned to you that this 3 inverse alphabarn is expectation by the end of LHC run, which means almost like 20 years from now. So that's the case. You will be able to generate 100 million Higgs already. In fact, the LHC is really a Higgs factory. Now, for the moment, it's almost like a million Higgs already. We haven't observed them all because of the background and other things and so on and so forth. But it's likely we will have almost 100 million Higgs. And then it's quite motivating to think about so this is 10 minus 4. So you will be able to see 10 minus 4. You may even be able to see below 10 minus 4 branching fractions for the Higgs decays. So there's a hope we can dig into the rare decays, as I mentioned here, for the rare decay for the Higgs boson, which may even be somewhat more sensitive than the leading ones to probe the new dynamics beyond the standard model signature. Let's look at these branching fractions further. We want to consider the radiative decays. That's the topic today. We want to calculate how these radiative decays would behave and how big these decays are. We found something quite interesting. Now, in comparison with this plot we just saw, we just discussed quite a bit. Now, this again, so this is stretched out. This stretched out from 110 to 140 G for this mass range. The BB bar channel is always leading, and the next leading one for the fermionic is tau tau, and the other one is a CC bar. And this is CC. Why the CC bar is so much lower than tau tau? It's also due to the random mass. Random mass, charm random mass is much smaller, and it's a high energy scale, 100 GeV scale. But the random mass for tau is extremely tiny. Percentage, I don't will comment on that. That's only due to QED. In fact, we calculate that. That's part of this work. And so gamma gamma and gamma z will be the ones. Interesting ones I want to show you are the dashed curves. The dashed curves will be the curves I want to discuss in detail with you today. So dashed curves include additional photon radiation here. Naively, you would expect what is the big deal? So additional photon radiation, then the QED fraction is the factor of 100. Surprise. Which is roughly true for many channels, for example, for the BB bar. And this is really B charge squared times the percentage. So this is the blue dashed curve. It's almost 2 orders of magnitude smaller, and more than 2 orders of magnitude smaller because the epoch charge is small, 1/3 squared. There's another order of magnitude. Now the next one, of course, is 2 orders of magnitude below this tau tau. It's here. Tau tau. This channel has been observed, and this tau tau gamma channel may not be that interesting. It's 100 times smaller already. And charm is similar to CC bar here. It's almost 2 orders of magnitude smaller. But somewhat more impressive the BB bar because the charge is bigger. It's a 2/3 square. You gain factor 4 relatively to the BB bar there already. However, the interesting channels come in. The CC bar will be very interesting too. At the very end, I will comment on that. So interesting channels will be like the comparison between mu. Mu plus mu minus. What's the channel I discussed here? That you will have chance. I think it's very likely. I think most likely, most people are convinced by the end of LSE run, mu plus mu minus channel will be observed because we clean final state. But here, the mu plus mu minus photon channel is not suppressed by this typical QED towards magnitude. That is due to the additional diagrams that I will comment on in detail. Furthermore, E plus minus in this case, way down there, because of the Yukawa coupling, the mass suppression. But because of the new electric diagram, additional electric contribution to this channel, the E plus minus photon will be even bigger than U plus mu minus channel. So that's interesting to see the Higgs transition. Of course, it's not really directly proportional to your Yukawa coupling to test the Yukawa coupling. But this is a consistent standard model. We want to test the Higgs decay, Higgs transition to any fermions with a photon in this consistent standard model per kit. And now you can see that all these photonic channels, BB bar may not be the most interesting, charm will be, tau tau will be, and the mu plus mu minus, E plus minus photon would be very, very interesting to look into to check the consistency, which serve as a rare decay process in the form Higgs. So that's the main point. Let me just summarize what we have done. So, and just to give you a picture what happened. And the electric radiation of the fermions from the Higgs decay has been done piece by piece at different places. In fact, even started in the late 80s, early 90s. Piece by piece was studied. And of course, we understand standard model better and better. The top part mass becomes so heavy, and you need to really include additional major contributions and so on and so forth. And then the complete electric sector, we know the parameters so well. Now we even know the Higgs mass. Everything should be put together, have a consistent picture. That's largely what we did. So of course, the Yukawa coupling comes from the Higgs coupling here, and with a one loop complete order of QED fractions. You have the real emission and also loop fractions, and those calculations will come into the mass value. I showed you the QCD. You simply replace the QCD calculation by the QED calculation, including the vertex and also the self-energy correction, so on and so forth. And you see the corrections. And this is something we calculate systematically. However, here, there's a new contribution here, like a one loop. Because of the large top quark, this large top quark at one loop seems to be suppressed by additional constant squared, but this can be significantly large as well because of a large Yukawa coupling in comparison to the other light fermions. Thirdly, there are higher order pure electric. So those are the pure electric corrections without any Yukawa coupling. But still, you have the exactly same final state. you have exactly the same final state of fermion pairs, light fermion pairs, with additional photon, relation of all positive diagrams, and these parts should be put into account consistent as well. So that's what we calculate these three processes. It so turned out these three processes have very different qualitative features, both kinematically and dynamically. So we evaluate the production here, and also comment on how the LIC search. LIC search, in fact, takes place already. So LIC certainly both are the CMS have been searching for the Newman photon, but in a limited way. So we want to comment on some general way that maybe even have some guidance for them to search. That's the first thing. Second thing we want to comment on is that it so turned out that the tau gamma, although suppressed by two orders of magnitude, is so interesting to search for with the different reasons. Finally, the charm search at the normal level is extremely difficult, almost impossible. This one actually helps somewhat, but we still haven't been able to reach a positive conclusion to say the charm channel from Higgs decay will be observable. We still do not have that. We're still working on this. In fact, this is an ongoing project. This is the first one to have all theoretical layouts there, and we probably can continue on to see the phenomenological observational aspect in connection, and maybe even in collaboration with our experimental colleagues, see how it goes. So that's basically it. Now let me show you some qualitative interesting features from this calculation. Let's consider a fermion pair with a photon in the final state. So we call that exclusive, not inclusive. Inclusive means any photons there we don't look at. So this is the exclusive process. We have a particular photon in the final state within the detector acceptance and finite energy threshold. So let's say that the 10 GeV, this is the overall cutoff. So here are the different channels. These are the Higgs to BB bar photon in CC bar, tau, mu, and E. So let's look at the leading one. So the Higgs to BB bar product photon, and this dark curve from high to low is a typical QED. Of course, QED we mean we include the loop corrections as well to this order. One loop correction is completely included. So this is the QED here. That's the typical. Remember that I also have two other classes. One is a heavy top of the loop, and the other one is a pure electric weak without the copper couple. That's what the red color is. But see the feature. The feature is interesting. There's one kind of a peak here for the energy. This is the photon energy distribution. It's a single photon energy distribution. You experimentally measure these photons with the two fermions. These two almost like peaks come from this interesting kinematics. So this is the photon energy. If this were from a diagram like this, if this fermionic pair comes from a single particle, like a Z, and it's dominantly from the Z resonant production, and that becomes the two-body kinematics. That two-body kinematic gives you a monochromatic photon. And then that if this is the MZ, and this is the gamma Z, almost like gamma Z process, and then the monochromatic photon energy is around 30 GeV-ish, basically where this is. So therefore, if you look at in this region, you kind of kinematically selecting out the gamma Z production process. The other channel gives you a much larger photon energy. That basically tells you the lowest possible photon threshold to split into like this kind of diagram, to split into fermion pairs, like E plus minus, U plus U minus, so on and so forth. And this is the other kinematic region. This is almost like a Higgs mass over 2. This is almost like the photon takes the maximum energy and the other recoil pair reach the smallest environment mass. So you can see that this calculated kinematic region. This kinematic region, you can even have the proper well-predicted distribution like this. Currently, and the searches kind of focus on this particular point and this particular point for these photon searches. Now this is BB bar, CC bar, and the correction from the additional diagram seems to be small. The dominant contribution really comes from U-kappa coupling and the photon correction we see there. Tau is similar, however, the U plus U minus, as I mentioned to you, the two contributions are comparable. So the U-kappa contribution is from what I call it QED, U-kappa correction with additional QED photon, And then you see the additional contribution from this type of diagrams. Z and photon, the red color here is comparable in total rate. So this, in this case, it's somewhat similar. But if you look at the E plus minus, this is the Yukawa coupling, and a very, very small electron Yukawa coupling and the QED radiation is orders of magnitude smaller. This would be orders of magnitude smaller than the other electric contribution. So that would be a consistency check for the standard model, and also the Higgs self interactions, including the one loop for one loop. So we can look at other distribution. This is relatively trivial. I will be rather quick. So this invariant mass of the fermion pair. Like VP bar, of course, one is from the photon, the very low mass photon splitting, and the other one is from the Z contribution. So all these are similar features. But overall, the plus minus contribution is largely from electric processes, and mu plus mu minus is equally coming from the Yukawa coupling and the electric processes, and other heavy fermions, BB bar, CC bar, and tau would be largely from the QED and the photon radiation, QED photon radiation and Yukawa, bigger than the one loop electric. So the relative size are quite interesting. Now we set up to see how we can observe these. So by the way, so the search has been ongoing. The current conclusion, current expectation from after CMS is to search for the Higgs to second generation fermion mu plus mu minus. This one, by the way, this channel has the best chance to first time to probe the Higgs to second generation coupling. And with this, the future expectation, 3 inverse arc-bound luminosity by the end of LXC1, you may be able to reach quite a few sigma. So that's the current expectation. However, as I mentioned to you, if you attach additional photons, it helps. It helps you to a certain extent, because the mu plus mu minus plus photon processes, this process is equally distributed with the Yukawa coupling and the electric group. So here are the different acceptance. We play with the kinematic cuts, and those kinematic cuts will serve for our experimental searches, because we look at the distributions, full picture to see how to optimize your search and so on and so forth. If you look at the different kinematic searches, and then you can adjust the signal doesn't cost you too much because the optimal acceptance, and those are the standard model diagram you probably can reduce. And here is the statistical significance. And those statistical significance will be somewhat similar to this. So therefore, observing a mu plus mu minus from Higgs decay is pretty much the same as the observability for mu plus mu minus plus additional photon, which is somewhat unexpected. Right? So you have additional QED radiation, and the observability is roughly the same. So that's due to additional contribution, which is not Yukawa coupling, but it's a full standard model contribution. It's a complete standard model calculation at the one loop level. So that's the one. More interestingly, E plus minus. E plus minus will have even stronger observability for the from Higgs transition, from Higgs to E plus minus to gamma, which is largely from the pure electroweak group diagrams. Very little from the Yukawa coupling. Admittedly, it does not test the coupling to the first generation fermions, but the self-consistency test tells you that it's consistent with the Yukawa picture. And anyway, so that I think those two channels are interesting to look for. As a side remark, it has been a lot of discussion to say, well, the Higgs to charm may be through the J side production. It so turned out it's almost impossible. So from our calculation. So here is a mu plus mu minus a photon, including the possible J side contribution. And here is E plus minus a photon, including the possible J side contribution. Here are the J side curves here. Here is the separate J side resonance, like this, and with the final state like this here. It is way smaller than what we calculated for the pure mu plus mu minus gamma. It's 1 order magnitude, both from the Higgs decay. But the standard decay here is so much bigger, order magnitude bigger than the J side production, first of all. Secondly, one more thing, the J side production is from the Wagner Meson dominance. 1 order magnitude largely from the Wagner Meson dominance, photon star row or kind of mixing to J side, rather than the Yukawa coupling. Yukawa coupling actually is orders of magnitude. Yukawa coupling to the J side to CC is 1 order of magnitude smaller than even not thinking about diagonal, thinking about even from Higgs. This is basically possible. So there are many people work on this. Many people made a big deal to say that the J-side problem would be a good channel to dig out the Higgs charm. It still turned out it's just impossible. So Tao is interesting because of time that we skipped the Tao, and because the Tao has been observed already. But given the large rate, the Tao has been observed up to 5 sigma already. But given the large rate, the rate so far is pretty big, and with a large anticipated luminosity, additional photon radiation will be also likely observable, which would be interesting to check anyway. But it's not new. It's may not be that interesting. What is interesting is whether we can help to test the U-coupling coupling for the CC coupling. Of course, this is known that this channel is very difficult. Associated production is very difficult. The likely contribution is from the vector boson fusion, the WW fusion to Higgs and decay to PP bar with a 2 or 4 backward jets. Then we can consider the similar process. However, there's an additional contribution here. The reason you want to do this is no additional other triggers, other clean particle to search for. But if we switch on the CC bar plus additional photon, you can even take advantage to use the leading decay channel, leading production channel. But this is particularly important if you can take advantage of additional photon here. However, there's no conclusion. We estimate it critically depends on how you can do the B identification, B tagging, the charm identification, charm tagging, and the rejection from the light jets. We assume a few scenarios: 10% rejection of the B, 1% rejection for the light jets, 20% efficiency for identify the charm in different scenarios. We check this out. Seems to be promising. So of course, the background is huge. Orders of magnitude, 3 or 4 orders of magnitude bigger than the signal for our contributions, and 3 inverse alpha luminosity. We reach some kind of a sensitivity, but it still turns out we are unable to observe this if the coupling is the standard model strength. Then we compare with the literature. So far, this literature from the general fitting, so far it's the best. If the coupling constant is almost 3 times bigger than the standard model, you may reach it. And similar to the other channel. And the Higgs kinematic, which is very dubious. I'm not sure I believe that. But our estimate from the CC bar gamma would be the conclusion is that if the U-coupling coupling is 6 times bigger than the standard model, then these channels will have the chance to see. But it's still rather remote. So far, in any case, the J side is almost impossible. That will have to be 2 orders of magnitude bigger than the standard model, so that the J side may have a chance. But otherwise, we're approaching order of 1 sensitivity to the U-coupling, which is progress made, but we're still working hard to see if this charm plus photon can be made use of to put forward. So that's basically about this the interesting channels. Just to summarize, we revisited the radiative decay from Higgs, fermionic pair plus additional photon. Okay. It so turned out that the running mass is about the fermion charge times 1%. This running mass actually is much smaller than the QCD running mass, of course, by a factor of 100. However, now for the Higgs factory demands the high accuracy for all these the standard model parameters. So the Higgs factor is needed to know the U-coupling coupling at the sub% level. That was written in the Snowmass report. Paskin and also the lattice gauge group pointed out that is necessary target for the lattice gauge theory to reach this sub% level for U-coupling coupling understanding. We estimate it so turned out that the running mass will be at same order of magnitude. That should be part of the contribution as well. Should be taken into account systematically. So radiative calculations seem to be fruitful for us to understand. And we also calculated the non-U-coupling electric corrections in a consistent standard model 1 loop result. We found interesting channels. We found that the mu plus mu minus gamma, mu plus mu minus gamma is equally observable as mu plus mu minus. And E plus minus gamma is much more observable than the pure U-coupling E plus E minus. And that's very interesting to search for. They are all within the range observable by the next LIC, the run 2 and run 3. So obviously, this should be the target. Well, Tau is probably observable, but not that interesting because the Tau is observable already. Additional photon is 100 times smaller. But most importantly, we should push harder to see if we can ever dig out the charm copy, the copper copy to that. I think it's clear that in terms of the rare decay, the radiative Higgs decay is the next target. Okay. So overall, and happy birthday to the NCTS, and it's a really great pleasure to be here. And I very much look forward for many good news and lot of fruitful physics output from the center. Also looking forward to come here for a frequent visit. And so finally, since I'm the last speaker, I think I really want to thank the organizers for such a wonderful gathering and for such a wonderful symposium as well. And in particular, Chongsen and many of our friends and colleagues here for the great hospitality. Thank you very much.
As we know, there's initial state radiation and final state radiation. So in this project, how do we know this photon from final state radiation, not from the initial state radiation?
So of course, we consider Higgs decay. The initial radiation you probably would consider, so if we are thinking about from the leading productions such as the blue fusion, then the initial radiation will be very much from the quarks in the forward region, would not be within the same kinematic region. So if you it's from the Higgs decay, right? So initial state radiation, do you mean the initial state before the Higgs production? Well, that's from blue fusion, there's no significant radiation, right? It may have some radiation from QQ bar, but it's very forward and much smaller. Right? So it will not affect the central kinematics from Higgs decay.
So for your last China H2CC bar gamma, what if you change the gamma into gluon?
Well, then you don't have additional trigger. So this there's a lot because of the identification. How you select the event.
So gamma is very wrong.
The gamma set of photon, it helps a lot. But still, how energetic you have to choose the photon, that's hard. We chose something simple, and our estimate, it may not be completely realistic yet. We're still working on that. Additional gluon is just one jet, and that's too many. It's too many. It would not help for the identification.
Questions? Did you have a question? In the mu gamma channel, I suppose some of the photons are quite soft. And what would be the efficiency when you require to see the photon?
That's a good question. It's a kind of compromise. You see it here. Let's look at the energy distribution. You see the energy distribution. You see. The soft photon comes from this copy. But the photon is not soft at all. There's no singularity from this type of diagram because of quadratic flip. So if you increase the threshold, as you said, how sensitive that would be, you increase the threshold, you only suffer for the QED diagrams. You would not that would not affect your electric full diagram contribution for this at all. It's very interesting. In particular here, you can see that this is the nuance. For the E plus minus, even more so. E plus minus case, the singular behavior comes from the U-cover coupling and the QED. That is so subdominant. Additional threshold would not change the picture. But you cannot go beyond the Higgs mass over 2. That at maximally is the electron state. You don't want, yeah, exactly. So you can increase the threshold to some extent without too much loss. But that's the tricky part. We don't exactly know what the best. We are really seriously working with our experimental colleagues to tell us what is realistic, what we how can optimize. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. So let's thank Professor Tao again. The sections.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the friends and speakers who come far away, spending your time here to help us to celebrate the event together. It's the first time I organized such a event, such a big event. I hope it's the last time. Next time, the 30th